this Halloween special episode, I talk with my good friends Phillip and Bianca Mayfield of the band Oakskin. We go over our favorite films to watch during the Halloween season. This episode, you might want to have a pen and paper out or something to take notes on, because I think we go over some really killer stuff and maybe some things you haven't seen before. There's going to be things you have seen before, of course, but could be some cool hidden gems on here, so you might want to do that. After you're done with this episode, make sure you check out my fellow horsemen of the podcast Apocalypse, Everything Went Black podcast, Into the Necrosphere, the Necromaniacs podcast, Iblis Manifestations, and the Soul Knocks podcast. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy this one. All right. Thank you all for being back on the podcast with me.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, I was checking on the last time we talked on Skype. It was back in August of 2021. So.
Oh yeah, it's almost a year.
Yeah, yeah. Time flies, man. It's crazy. I just turned 37 a few days ago. I'm like, man, how the hell am I 37 already?
Oh man, happy birthday!
Yeah, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. It's weird, man, when you're an adult with your birthdays. I never do shit for them. So, like, I miss the days of renting out, like, a skate ring and shit, being, like, a teenager. Well, actually, before I was a teenager, we did the skate ring thing. But, I miss those kind of parties. I don't give a fuck about none of that no more. But it's like, man, I'm getting old.
Have a party at Frankie's or, like, Chuck E. Cheese or something?
Yeah.
You can still do that as an adult.
Yeah, why not? If you
man, last time we all went to Frankie's Fun Park, we all got kicked out of there for fucking go-kart racing too hard. Dude, I was spinning Layla out and all that stuff. Everybody was spinning each other out and shit, and they're like, you gotta cut that out. And it's like, we're fucking on go-karts, man. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, they're not going that fast. They're only going like 30 miles.
They're not bumper cars.
Yeah, you're right. They're not bumper cars. These ones did have bumpers on them, though. We didn't do the super fast ones. We did like the regular ones they got there at Frankie's, so they felt pretty safe.
They have bumper boats there, though.
Oh, yeah, the bumper boats. Yeah, I remember those. Those are cool. Done those before. Yeah, I haven't been to Frankie's in many years, but... So, what have y'all been watching? Any cool recommendations or something like that, or...
Yeah, I actually have been watching, this is kind of horrific, but it's The Boys. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I just got finished watching the new episode like an hour ago.
Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't watched the latest episode, but it's really brutal this season.
Have y'all read the graphic novel by Garth Ennis?
I haven't.
No, he's definitely a favorite. Never read that one.
Dude, it's super brutal, man. It's a lot more brutal than the TV show. And, the TV show gets away with a lot of, like, brutality. But the graphic novel, holy shit.
I mean, that show is, it's a lot of explosions, like exploding bodies.
Yeah, especially, are you on the new season right now as we speak?
I am. I don't think he is.
I'm behind. I got to catch up.
Okay. Yeah, that opening episode with the miniature guy, I don't want to spoil anything for you since you haven't seen that one, Phil. So, but yeah, it's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, I actually showed my brother the first episode the other day, and he was like, holy shit, what is this? He had never.
It's good to see that kind of stuff on, like, actual, I guess you call it TV, even though it's Amazon, but, they don't really hold back. I like that, and it's pretty close to the comics, like I said, but the comics edge it out when it comes to this pure fucking brutality and weirdness. I mean, if you ever read, like, Crossed and all that stuff, you get this, that's the feeling you're getting with the graphic novel of The Boys.
Well, speaking of Crossed, what do you think of The Sadness?
Oh, man, I loved it.
Did you?
It was great. Yeah, I thought it was great, and I'm glad it wasn't a typical zombie movie, because this was pretty much Crossed, but movie form.
Yeah. I liked it. Okay, I thought it was pretty good.
I think I gave it like an 8.5 out of 10, which is pretty high for me. It's kind of a one and done film, though. It's not like something I'm gonna go back and rewatch, because it's kind of it's already like you've seen everything with this one. There's nothing to go back and like, oh, let me check this out. It's like a thrill ride, like a roller coaster.
Right. It's lost its impact. It won't hit you the same the second time, probably.
No, definitely not. And yeah, that's something I may revisit in like next 10 years or something like that. But it's just it doesn't hold. It doesn't have a lot of I don't know, a lot of substance to it.
Have you gotten around to seeing X yet?
I did see X, and X is probably one of my favorite films so far this year. I fucking love that one.
I
Yeah.
agree. It's really good.
I agree with you as well.
It felt more Texas Chainsaw than the Texas Chainsaw Netflix movie that recently came out.
Oh, it blew that movie away.
Oh, hell yeah.
Competition.
Dude, I love the soundtrack. Actually, Chelsea Wolfe did the soundtrack to the X, which I thought was really cool. And
Yeah.
just the way it looked, man, holy shit.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
soundtrack was good.
It had a cool vibe to it overall. Well, one of the things I really liked about it is I feel like when you're watching retro movies, like everything looks a little too clean and pristine.
Mm-hmm.
And this, nothing, I just remember like we saw it in the theater, so maybe that helped catching it. But I mean, just like the small things, like the van looked really dirty inside, like the radio was all filthy, and like, I like that everything was kind of dirty and filthy in it.
Yeah, that gave it that like true Texas Chainsaw feel, even though it wasn't a Texas Chainsaw movie. But yeah, the dirtiness of it, man, and the graininess of the film, it looks so damn good and so nasty. It felt like, you can relate to this shit. You can feel like the sweat off of these people. It looked hot and nasty.
Yeah.
You felt like you were in the country somewhere you weren't supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, I was getting some flashbacks, man.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that so far I think that might be my favorite film. That did come out this year, right? Because the year's been kind of flying by. Yeah, so far I think that's my favorite this year.
What'd you think of The Northman?
I love The Northman, man. I was really late to watching that. I watched it when it started streaming on Peacock, which is still on there right now. And it's 2 hours or a little bit over 2 hours, so I needed to set some time aside to actually sit down and pay attention to it. But once I did, fucking loved it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I really loved it too. We
It's
were
one
going to
of-
see it, but we just.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying we were going to go see it in the theater, but we ended up watching streaming.
Yeah, I was surprised when it was streaming that early. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna, try to watch this one as soon as possible.
Yeah, it was a solid movie.
I would say it's probably my favorite like Viking type movie, since there's another one I'm having a brain fart on that came out a while ago, and that was really cool. But I think overall, out of all the Viking Norse movies I've seen, this is probably the best.
It's definitely up there for sure.
Yeah, the violence, the storyline, like the atmosphere, it was all really good.
It felt, I don't know if this is true or not, but it felt somewhat realistic too. Like maybe some of the elements were actually rooted in historical facts, but I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It didn't have that like a lot of these like Viking shows you watch, they're all like it's like they just had like their hair done and all this stuff and this, all these designer tattoos. This felt more like something. It was more grounded feeling.
Right, yeah. And trippy. It had trippy parts, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely went to the like psychedelic realm.
Cool. Anything that you've seen we hadn't brought up?
Oh shit. Let me check on my internet movie database thing here real fast. Why? Because I watch so much shit I just forget. But let me check this out real quick and see.
I feel you.
Yeah, there's so much stuff, it's like forget what the hell I watched. I'm doing a audiobook right now of The Lost. Have you ever heard of The Lost before by Jack Ketchum?
No. Jack Ketchum's a really good writer, though.
Yeah, he is, and very brutal writer too. Like he doesn't hold back on like details. And The Lost is really cool. I've seen the movie before I ever heard about the book, so so far it's keeping up, if not better than the movie was.
Nice.
And also, I watched The Cursed. Have y'all seen The Cursed? Okay, that one's streaming now on Amazon. To rent on Amazon it's like $6, but it's a lot of people said it was a werewolf film. I'm not going to give too much away there. It could be a werewolf film. It could not be a werewolf film, but it's like an old school monster movie. It's a creature features. There's no like weird drama bullshit. It's just pretty much straight down to it. It's a creature feature, like old school feeling. It's like a mix of Sleepy Hollow with From Hell in terms of like atmosphere and stuff.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it's really good. Yeah, it's up there on my list for this year too. I think I give this one like an 8.5 out of 10. I want to rewatch it actually because there's some things in there that I think I missed. But really good. The special effects are good. Like I think y'all should check out The Curse. I definitely recommend that one.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it slipped through the. It was during the time of the when the pandemic was hitting pretty hard. It was in theaters, or right after the pandemic like started easing down a little bit. So it didn't get that much notice in theaters, but people are starting to watch it now since it's available to rent and stuff. So.
Okay, right on.
Oh, and I also have something that's non-horror related that y'all might want to check out. It's streaming on FX, or if you got Hulu, it's on Hulu. It's called The Old Man. And it's
Yeah.
a thriller action drama type thing, but dude, the cast is great. Jeff Bridges plays the old man who's like a retired badass like assassin, and then you have John Lithgow who's come out of retirement to catch Jeff Bridges because they've been like playing a cat and mouse game for years. And then Jeff Bridges kind of went into hiding and haven't found him for like 20 years, but out of nowhere, like they find him and they have to restart the whole game all over again, where he's trying to chase down Jeff Bridges. Really fucking good though.
I've actually seen a little bit on that. It looks pretty solid.
Yeah, and new episodes like every Friday, so I think there's only 2 or 3 episodes out right now, but highly recommend that one. That one's fun.
I'm a fan of Jeff Bridges though. He's kind of the shit. Mostly anything he's in, he's pretty solid.
Yeah, he can play the comedy role well, and he also plays the serious stuff really well.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, that's my recent recommendations. There are probably a few more there, but nothing really noteworthy. Have y'all been following the Joe Bob show this season, or?
No, I'm actually behind. I've been having to work this season. How about you?
Yeah, well, I usually catch up like 2 days after when they re-air it because I'd be damned I can't make it past the second film. I always fall asleep, man.
Yeah.
Like Lily would get up beside me on the couch and start snuggling with me and stuff, and because she watches Joe Bob with me, she's a horror cat. But she'd get up there doing, and I'd be tired as fuck because it's Friday. I've already been up since 4 a.m. anyways, and I'm like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna drink some caffeine with this. I'm gonna stay awake and watch both movies all together, and that shit never happens. So I just catch up, and it's still fun. Last night they had Charles Band on there, from Full Moon Features and shit. So
yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's wild, man. He's got some stories.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, Charles Band, wild dude.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like I'm really missing out this season because I really love Joe Bob, but I work on Fridays now, so I can't see it unless I watch it later. So I'm just kind of like,
yeah, it's easy to
now.
get behind.
Yeah.
Like it took me a week just to get through the Night of the Living Dead. That one was so long.
Yeah, dude, I think that was one of the longest ones he's done. That was a doozy.
He was gonna spend a lot of time on it because it's one of his favorite movies.
Yeah.
One thing I missed with the Joe Bob show when they used to do like the specials, he did the Thanksgiving special. This was like a couple years ago, and he did like Texas Chainsaw and stuff. But he did like 8 movies in a row. I was like, holy shit! And I did not make it through all 8 movies. I made it maybe through like 2 or 3 back then. I thought that was so fucking cool.
It was like a whole day of movies.
Well, that was before he had his series, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or his new.
Oh no, this felt more special that way. It's like the old school like movie marathon feel.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
No, and I'm happy Joe Bob's got a series. I mean, that's one of the best things on Shudder, and that's keeping like a lot of attention towards Shudder. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think they'd exist without Joe Bob.
Well,
they would exist, but
it's definitely helping them.
Right.
Yeah, and I love Shudder with or without Joe Bob. Just having him on there is a big bonus. I just like what Shudder does for horror and all the interesting films they get on there that you're not going to see anywhere else.
Yeah.
All right. So in this episode, we're going to be talking our favorite films or top 10 favorite films to watch during the Halloween season. So not necessarily like a Halloween movie from the Halloween franchise, none of that stuff, but there's cool films we like to watch during the, October. So I got a pretty decent list. I figure y'all got a decent list.
Yeah, our list
Oh
is
yeah.
solid.
This interesting is her and I don't have any matching movies this time.
Whoa.
We checked before we started doing this today.
Yeah, but it wasn't on purpose. We just didn't end up with any.
Yeah, mine's gonna be pretty wild. It goes from comedy to fucking pretty dark horror to all kinds in between. So,
He's on my list too.
all right, if y'all want, I can start it off with number 10. If y'all
All right.
down with that, yeah. All right, my number 10. Pretty much everybody's seen this movie. Well, hopefully everybody's seen this movie. If you haven't, you definitely want to see this movie. But it's 1987's The Gate.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
shit.
one. Yeah.
That is a good movie.
Dude, I fucking love The Gate, and it was written by Michael Nankin, and he's also done like some other really cool shit that people probably don't know about, like American Gothic, the TV show that came out in the early '90s. He was responsible for that. I don't know if you ever seen that.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
It came out in '95, man, and dude, it's super dark, and it's the name itself speaks for itself. American Gothic. It takes place in like either Georgia or maybe South Carolina. It's been a while since I revisited, but it's really cool. And this is the guy responsible for that. He also did the Exorcist TV show that came out a while back. I don't know if you remember that, which was really cool.
No, I don't know about that.
Oh shit, dude, that one's streaming on Hulu as we speak, and I think there's 2 or 3 seasons up. All of them are solid, dude. Really good.
Right on.
When did that come out?
Which one, The Exorcist?
This TV show.
2016.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's on Hulu. And like I said, that kind of went under the radar for most people. It was streaming on Fox originally, and then it ended up getting canceled after third season, I think. But really fucking cool.
Nice.
And, yeah, I don't know. Going back to The Gate, and like that's just like a childhood favorite of mine. You got metal, you got horror, all mixed into one. And that it totally got me on a thing back then, wanting to play shit backwards to see if I hear any like demonic fucking, voices and shit.
Hell yeah.
But
My number 10 is The Cabin in the Woods.
oh yeah, cool one. I love that movie.
I just like monsters, and I feel like Halloween's about monsters. So, and that movie has all the monsters in it.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
That was a fun movie to see for the first time, not knowing anything about it. That was a great twist.
Yeah, dude, it was a hell of a twist because I went to the movie theater to see that one, and first 30 minutes, like, oh, guys, it's another fucking teen movie, It's like this is gonna fucking suck. Then out of nowhere, everything just goes straight to hell in a great way. I was like, this is fucking cool.
I like how it had like a ton of cliches in it, but it was solid. It wasn't like I was relieved that they had the cliches in it,
Yeah, same here. And I think they're like kind of messing with us anyways, like giving us those like cliches, like, oh, here's your typical teen movie, but we're just making fun of it.
Yeah, totally. It's funny because it kind of worked for it and didn't, because they held, they played their cards right on it, but because of that, like I totally skipped seeing it at the theater. You know what I mean? I was like, by the looks of it, I was like, oh, I don't want to see that. That looks like some, teen movie bullshit. And like totally missed seeing that at the theater,
Yeah, I think a lot of people did that.
Yeah, I didn't even know anything about it. I was just like bored one night and it was coming on TV and watched it, and like I was like, oh wait, okay.
Dude, and it holds up too. I've recently watched it right last year maybe, and I think I like it better now, like just knowing what I know about it and stuff. Like, man, this is fucking good,
Yeah, totally. So my number 10 is Night of the Demons.
Oh, good one. I love that one.
Yeah, that's it's your kind of typical 80s plot, a bunch of different types of kids in the 80s going into a haunted house. But I mean, it's like part of it's cheesy, but some of it's actually legit creepy. And like that Linnea Quigley scene in that movie is so messed up. Like
Oh
I think
yeah,
craziest scenes in a movie.
yeah. She
But it's
makes for a good demon when she starts changing and shit. You know.
oh yeah, and that movie is just real vibey. It's got a real kind of like, even though it's like I said, sort of cheesy. It's got a dark vibe to it, and it definitely feels kind of like Halloween spirit.
Yeah, I totally agree. Did that film actually take place during Halloween? I can't remember.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
They go, on Halloween they go to a haunted house.
That one definitely slipped my list. I did not think about that one. I was like, shit, until you just said it just now. I'm like, oh man, that's a perfect one. Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like I've seen it, but I'm not entirely sure.
I feel like that's one of those movies if you've seen or not.
But I think
There's
I've
some
seen
pretty weird stuff in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah. It stays with you, don't? Yeah, it stays with you.
Yeah.
Did you like the remake of it? They came out, I think, in early 2000s.
I didn't even know there was one.
Mm-hmm. Not bad, nothing compared to the original, but it was not bad from what I can remember. I haven't revisited that one from shit probably from at least 10 years ago, but I remember the practical effects and all were still pretty badass in the remake. You know, they didn't go all CGI or nothing like that, and it had a really cool soundtrack with what was that the Concrete Blonde song, The Bloodletting? I think that was like the main song for that movie, and I loved that fucking song. So
Yeah, I like that song too. That's
so
cool.
heavy. Yeah, yeah, you should definitely check it out if you haven't. I think it might be streaming on Amazon or probably on Tubi.
Okay, definitely check it out.
All right. So my number 9 is going to be another classic that I think a lot of people have seen, and that's going to be 1988's Pumpkinhead.
And we get to our first matching thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's on yours, right?
Yeah, it's on mine too.
I mean, that's just pure classic. I mean, Stan Winston's fucking designs, and he actually directed this one, and it just holds up from all these years. Like you can't fuck with the Pumpkinhead design. He's fucking scary as shit,
One of the greatest.
And I mean, it kind of says a lot about having practical monsters in movies too, because whenever you see Pumpkinhead, you feel like that monster is there because it actually physically is in the room with those people. It's not CGI, so it's much more terrifying.
Oh yeah, 100%. And also the way this one was filmed was super grainy and it's super dark, and I don't know, man, it's had some super evil vibes off of it.
Yeah, it's pretty much a perfect Halloween season movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would put this. This is probably my top 20 favorite films of all time. Like a 10 out of 10 for me. And Lance Hendrickson always helps out. Like he's always looked old and everything. Like he was supposedly younger in this. That's what they say, from the credits. But I swear he looks the same. Maybe his hair color changed, but he has that. He looks the same. He even looks the same now as he kind of did back then. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. He's like a vampire, probably.
Well, yeah, he was in Near Dark, so.
Maybe that's
true. I think all that's true. Maybe he is a vampire then. And I fucking love Near Dark. Near Dark's one of the best vampire movies ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down.
So my number.
Sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I'm sorry.
Good.
My number 9 is Haunt. I know it's a newer movie, but I think it happens on Halloween too. But it's a great movie. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, it's actually on my list.
Oh,
I mean, it's definitely in close to making my list as well. I really like that movie.
So I know some people didn't like it just from things I read online, but I loved it. I thought it was great. The ending wasn't so great, but it was a great movie overall.
Especially when they revealed like what was underneath the mask. You're like, oh, the masks are cool looking, I guess. They're kind of creepy until they took the motherfuckers off. It's like, oh shit.
That movie was cool on so many levels. And that was another movie I really didn't expect. I thought it was going to be some mainstream bullshit movie. And it really caught me off guard. It was pretty, that's pretty cool ideas.
Yeah, it did, man. Like, I was not expecting that. Like, if you look at the cover art for it, it looks real generic. It's like, all right, it's gonna be one of those like I say, mainstream like cookie cutter type movies, and it totally like was not that at all.
No, that was a really pleasant surprise. and I've seen it a few times now. It you know, it really handles like repeated viewings. You know, I don't get bored with it. You know, even though I know it's going to happen.
Right, and it makes me want to go to more haunted houses, you know?
Not that one.
No, not that one. Yeah, fuck that. But I've been to some pretty sketchy ones before. Like
Oh,
out
yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, you know.
If you grew up in the South, you've always gone to like the church ones, you know?
Oh yeah. And somebody's letting out some pent up aggression on you, you know, like somebody comes out of nowhere and like trying to scare you a little too hard.
We got a haunted house that runs out here every year. It used to run here every year at Boone Hall. And back when I was a teenager, I was a bit of an ass when it comes to haunted houses because as they're trying to scare me, I'm fucking like growling at them and stuff. I'm like, looking back and I'm like, man, you're a fucking idiot. But it was fun back then. I was like, we also had this crazy shit called the Haunted Woods Project that took place up in North Charleston, up next by where the Coliseum's at, like in the woods. Like it's some bullshit they did for like 1 year because they closed it down after that. But me and my friends went. We were in high school and stuff, and we totally ruined it for a lot of people there because we kept spotting all the little tricks they had, like, oh, there's a guy in a tree, and we're like, hey, look at that fucking guy in a tree, or all this stuff, and they
Yeah,
try to get us kicked out of there. I'm like, God, I was an asshole.
that's funny. So my number 9 is Murder Party.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, it's I don't know if the vibe is, even though it's on Halloween, if it's super Halloween vibe, but I don't know. I just like it a lot, so I had to put it on the list. It just made me, I instantly thought of it for some reason.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
You showed it to me, and I really loved it.
yeah.
That's kind of a deep cut too. I don't think a lot of folks have seen that one because that came out during like the last times of Blockbuster, if I'm not mistaken. I believe, right?
Did it really?
I think so. I'm pretty sure I rented that from Blockbuster, like right before it was all over, pretty much for them.
Wow.
That's kind of funny, though.
It doesn't seem like it's that long ago.
2007.
Yeah, dang.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah. Because it doesn't even seem like that long since Green Room came out.
Oh yeah, Green Room. Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah, and that's been what, 10 years now?
Yeah, I guess it has. That's crazy.
Green Room was fucking brutal.
Yeah. No, that director's great. Blue Ruin's great.
Yep. Green Room, man, that one hits close because playing shows in sketchy places, like man, you meet, god damn,
Yeah, I'm not going to get to it today, but yeah, I definitely had my own Green Room experience.
Ooh.
Dealing with Nazis.
Dude, there was a place in North Carolina we played. I can't remember. I don't want to say the name just in case it's still around. But when we got there was fucking like blood shit on the ceiling, like real blood, like people been fighting in the pit area, I guess. Ooh, yeah. And then we had to deal with a whole bunch of rednecks that night because we told them to go fuck themselves, and then they called like 20 of their friends. So we jumped in the van and hauled ass. That's the short of the story there, but yeah, it was scary. All right, so what are we down to? Number 8, and
Yep.
my number 8 is going to be 1987's The Monster Squad.
Oh, nice.
That was another one that was close to making my list.
Man, this was like a childhood favorite that I still love as an adult. It still holds up super well. Love the special effects. Love the werewolf design for this one's like one of the best. It's got that old school feeling to it, but it reminds me a little bit of the Wolfman, but more werewolfy, I guess, And
What's that famous line from that movie? The Wolfman's got nards or something like that.
yeah. And they made a documentary about that based off that saying there.
Yeah.
I like that movie. I saw it with Phil because I didn't grow up with it. And I thought it was fun. It's a fun kids movie.
It is, and if you go back and rewatch it now, there's like a lot of adult themed stuff in there you didn't really catch as a kid.
I mean, it's a little bit scarier than a normal kids movie.
Yeah, back then, man, they didn't really care when they give it a PG rating, but a lot of that PG stuff was pretty fucking terrifying for a little kid.
Yeah. I actually didn't see it as a kid either. I didn't see it till later on. After it was recommended that I check it out, but that was a movie that I stupidly wrote off, just thinking it was a dumb kids movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do until they watch him like, oh, this is really good. And and they took from the Universal monsters too, like they got like the Universal style Frankenstein, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's like a perfect like mix of fantasy, horror, kid stuff, but it's like perfect.
Yeah.
And Fred Decker, the director, he's great. So seeing, he did fucking RoboCop and shit. So RoboCop 3, from what I'm looking at here, he did some Tales from the Crypt episodes. Like he did House 2. I mean, all those are solid in my book. So,
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
but yeah, that was my number 8.
My number 8 is also a kids movie, but I used to watch this movie a lot when I was younger. But I still consider it because it's a great movie. The Nightmare Before Christmas. And
Nice.
a lot of people say that's more of a Christmas movie. I personally think it's more of a Halloween movie because it came out closer to Halloween. But I mean, it's stop motion. It's a great movie.
Yeah, the great debate if it's a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, man. People fight over you on that shit. And like, I think it's a Halloween movie, if you ask me.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because I mean, it has more Halloween themes than it has Christmas themes overall.
It's funny though, like I guess I'll be the devil's advocate on this. I always
Okay.
feel like it's more of a Christmas movie. But I don't know why. I don't really have a legit argument on that. Just for some reason in my head, I always feel like it's more of a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I think it's a great movie because it can be both.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
And it's
but-
like, it's a Christmas movie for people that prefer Halloween.
I can tell you one thing, that film there has been out forever now, but still sells like merch like a motherfucker. Like you always see Nightmare for Christmas merch everywhere.
Imagine that movie keeps Hot Topic open, right?
The
They even
cycle.
open still?
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have one
Yeah,
here.
Nightmare Before Christmas is keeping them alive.
Yeah, right.
God, I haven't been in a mall in like 20 years. I fucking hate the mall. Like I avoided like the plague, so I don't even know if Hot Topic's around, but y'all said y'all have one, so we probably still have one too.
Probably.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Go get your Nightmare for Christmas merch at Hot Topic.
I don't wear any Nightmare Before Christmas merch at all, but if that stuff was around when I was like 3 or 4, I would definitely have rocked it.
Oh hell yeah, totally understandable. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's like one of the greatest movies that you don't want to rock the merch though. That's funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because people start thinking things about you and stuff. Like, oh, we know where his shop's at. What kind of emo music you listening to? If that's what you listen to, that's cool and everything. I don't.
It's a great movie, but like the fans aren't that great sometimes.
Well, it's got a lot of fans, so.
And then there's a whole subreddit dedicated to the fans of that movie. I don't know if y'all go on Reddit any, but.
All right. So my number 8 is probably going to be divisive. I hope it is. But I'm actually going to defend these because I know a lot of people hate them. But I'm a fan of the new Halloween movies, and I'm really looking forward to the third one. And
Okay.
I feel like it's going to be a good trilogy to watch during the Halloween time over the years. I might be wrong on this. They might totally fuck it up and, the third one's going to suck. But I do really actually legit like the new Halloween movies.
Well, Brandon said at the time, though, no actual Halloween movies.
Oh no, it's cool. No,
Cool.
I got a Halloween movie in mind too. I just mean like it's not going to be based off of all the Halloween movies because no. But having a Halloween movie is fine.
I actually liked them. I thought they were really brutal.
The second one for sure.
Yeah, that second one was super brutal. I actually really liked a few of the gags in the first one too, but I don't know. We'll see how the third one goes too.
I dug the first one. For some reason, that second one did not do much for me. I don't know why. Maybe it was too much comedy in there, and I knew all the goddamn locations. I'm like, oh, that's that bar. I played that bar before, or that's that place there, and like. It was the acting for me that was kind of bringing it down. I love the violence and all. I think Michael Myers, he looks cool and shit. But I don't know, something about that second one didn't really do it for me. But I do love the first one.
Watch them when this third one comes out. Watch them all together, because I mean, I'm assuming the third one's going to fit as well as. I actually didn't like the first one until I watched the second one and then decided to watch them back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the credit, they tied the two together really well. And the second one actually made me like the first one more.
One thing I noticed too was like when we watched the second one, it felt like it was like you just started right back where you ended on the first one.
Yeah, totally.
So even the energy felt the same.
And it just, gets brutal.
Yeah, the kills are great. I did enjoy the kills. I'm like, oh, and people are saying, oh, that's too brutal for Michael Myers. I'm like, he's a fucking slasher, man. It's supposed to be brutal. It's a slasher killer, dude.
Michael Myers doesn't care. He's just trying to kill everybody.
Yeah. He's the epitome of evil. He's some would say he was what the whole Samhain like stuff that around Michael Myers, like there's some kind of ritual that was done, to bring back this ancient like Celtic demon type thing. I don't know if you heard about all that.
No.
Oh man, the lore. If you just go Google like different theories and lore of Michael Myers, you can go down a rabbit hole, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds cool though. I like that theory.
Yeah, there's one that's saying that he's pretty much like the embodiment of Samhain,
Okay.
And that's cool,
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Because even John Carpenter himself said there's no backstory really on Michael. He's just what he is. He's evil, There's no like how he became this, like what is he like? Is he supernatural? Is he not? There's no official explanation of that I know of.
Yeah, and I like the new Halloweens because they do kind of bring that. The only thing that kind of threw me out of it was in the first one where he looks at the baby and then decides just keep moving. I wish that in there because other than that, it just felt like he was like super just brutal all the time.
Yeah, I got you. And I kind of give him more of a human side, I guess, when he's looking at the baby. Yeah. Yeah, I dig that. I mean, yeah, like I said, I like the first one, and the third one comes out this year, right, or next year?
I think it's coming out this year, right?
Yeah, no idea. Until 2023, I think it is actually. I think it is. So once that comes out, I'll watch all three of them together, and then I'll let you know my thoughts on that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so definitely.
They're never going to end Halloween. They're going to keep doing them forever.
Yeah, it's never going to really end.
You're going to keep doing them for 10 more years.
And I hope they do, because I think, there's no other films like Halloween. I wish we had some Friday the 13th coming out, because, those two go together like peanut butter and jelly, I think. And, like, those are just, like, time capsules, man.
Kind of are, but I'm not really going back and watching most of Friday the 13th movies, at least not past 5.
Oh, man, I love going back and watching those. I got all of them, but I have them all separately on DVD, or it's like special edition, like 2 movies in one. And I go all the way up to like fucking Freddy versus Jason. I know a lot of people hate that one, but I think it's fun for what it is. I wish Kane was playing Jason in that, but wait, is Kane playing Jason in that one? There was one he wasn't. I think it was Jason X that Kane didn't play, and I don't think he was in Freddy versus Jason either. I wish he was, but
Freddy versus Jason was fun.
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't hate it.
I didn't love it, but I thought it was a fun movie too.
I mean, you had that killer new metal soundtrack. Hey, I did own that soundtrack when I was like 15, so I can't talk any shit. So
it had corn on it.
No corn, but it had like El Nino. I think Spineshank was on there.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it was super new metal.
New metal bands.
Yeah, the ones they could afford.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think Killswitch Engage was on there when it first started coming out, but yeah.
Watch out.
Oh, good times. All right, so my number 7 is one we already touched on, and that's going to be 2019's Hunt.
Oh.
Which I thought it was a Shudder original. Like maybe it wasn't. Maybe just like was like an exclusive like premiere on there. But I first saw it on Shudder, where I see most of my stuff at. That's decent. And and like the things you were saying, like it's a great Halloween movie and very brutal, especially during the the end with the unmasking stuff goes on. Like if people listening now, if y'all haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil too much, but the masks look cool and shit. But what's underneath the mask is what's really fucked up, and that really sold it for me. It has changed everything. I'm like, oh man, this ain't your typical haunted house slasher movie.
No, that was very cool.
I think what I really liked about it too is that it had some really unique ideas that it's kind of hard to do that nowadays in movies, especially horror movies, because almost everything's been done, and it still found a way to do a couple unique things.
And it had some legitimate tension in it, like I feel like a lot of horror movies don't get that right, you know. And I was really surprised. Like there was some legit like tension in that movie.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was like on the edge of my seat, especially as everything progressed on, like as shit started getting deeper for these people. You know, I think there was that what was that shotgun scene that's in there. Like I think there's a
Oh,
bed. Yeah,
I forgot about that.
there's so many good scenes in that movie.
yeah. I'm looking forward to October now, where I can watch these ones that I'm listing off here and that we're listing off.
Yeah.
And the director of this one, is his name Scott Beck. He went and did The Quiet Place. He directed that one.
Oh, okay.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I thought the first one was pretty decent for like a mainstream type horror movie. Wasn't bad. It was a good idea, you know. And
I mean,
second one I didn't like.
anytime you're killing kids too is pretty brutal. So
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. That's still pretty brutal nowadays with any kind of thing, and you don't see that too often on like mainstream shit.
No.
But yeah, Haunt, man, that's highly recommended, and it takes place during Halloween, like you know, it's haunted house stuff. People like haunted houses. This one might traumatize you.
Yeah, right.
Don't come to South Carolina, man. We got plenty of these types, you know.
Yeah. It's here.
Yeah.
look like that too without the mask on.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah, definitely. Don't need a mask.
What you got?
So my number 7 is Donnie Darko.
Oh, good one. That's one of my favorite films. Like, man, I love that fucking film.
And it also happens on Halloween-ish, like I guess a week before Halloween. Anyways, around Halloween.
Yep, yep.
But yeah, anyone that knows like horror or dark movies have seen Donnie Darko. It's incredible.
Yep.
It's very spooky.
Yeah.
So much going on in that film too, like to decipher everything that goes on. You got to watch it like multiple times. Like it's a lot there, you know. And there's a whole cult of Donnie Darko, or supposedly there is people that like really follow this film and try to get to the theories of it and what everything means. It was on a special edition Blu-ray I have of it, and these people were like trying to decipher like what's the meaning of this film, because you can go all kinds of different ways with it. You know, there's time travel in there, like is like a meaning of life, like. You can get really deep with this one.
Well, I'm a twin, so I have a twin brother, and I originally thought Maggie Gyllenhaal and Jake Gyllenhaal were twins, but they're not. But when I first saw that movie, I knew that they were siblings in real life, and the way that she reacts to what happens to him, like, was soul crushing to watch, because she like really felt it. You know what I mean? Like felt her brother. You know. It was pretty brutal. Anyway.
It's a heavy film. Like even if I watch it now, like I feel this film. You know, it's like man, you know, and the soundtrack too. It's one of the best soundtracks. I like the really killer '80s stuff.
Oh yeah, it has a really good like '80s Halloween kind of thing going on.
Oh yeah, that's a great film choice.
And I guess mine. Speaking of. Well, I guess Halloween is the mode. Man, I am so tired, dude. Stumbling over words. All right, my number 7 is Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat, not Trick or Treat.
Yeah,
dude, that's my number 6.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this movie for a second, and one of the things that bothers me about it, though, before I talk about what I like about it. For a Halloween-based movie, there is almost no Halloween decorations in this movie other than the dance they go to. Like even at his house, he's just got 2 janky looking pumpkins sitting in the front.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've never seen Trick or Treat, but it looks entertaining, and also it's kind of surrounding metal, like heavy metal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
oh yeah, I mean
hair metal kind of.
It's got Skippy from Family Ties playing a metalhead.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater when it came out, and he did a really good job. You know, I mean, that's where I think the movie gets things right. It actually has a lot of nuance to it. You know, like for a movie of its type, like there's a lot of the way they handle it and the way he gets picked on and the frustration of it all. I mean, I thought they did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they nailed all that stuff, and yeah, seeing the dude from what we say, he was on Happy Days, right? Is that what you said?
Family Ties.
Family Ties, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then, the metal references and everything, metal and fucking Halloween, a perfect combination.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trick or Treat.
Another weird thing about it, though, there's not a lot of gore in it.
No.
For a heavy metal horror movie, like on Halloween. I think there's really like only one kind of gory scene in it. I guess I won't spoil it, but I'll just say it has to do with headphones.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's a good scene there. Yeah, definitely. If somebody hasn't seen this one, that's going to be an eye opener for him.
I kind of want more like heavy metal Halloween themed movies. Like I feel like those things go together anyway, so we should have more of those.
Yeah, right.
100%. That'd be great. And like, yeah, heavy metal and horror go together perfectly. I've been saying that for a while, like forever actually. I'm like, that's the perfect combination. You throw Halloween on top of that, like you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's really rare you see movies that have metal themes in them anyway, but it just seems weird to me that there aren't any Halloween combos with metal. It's just strange.
We need to start that trend, like get some hashtags going for metal Halloween. I don't know, instead of these fucking like remakes of shit that, need to be remaking, like they're about to remake The Lost Boys. I'm like, no, don't fucking do that, but they're going to do it.
Ugh.
Yeah. And they showed the cast and everything. I'm like, I don't care who the cast is. You can have the best cast in the world. Like remaking The Lost Boys, it's not cool.
No, that's not cool at all. They're trying to remake the Addams Family too. I'm not about it at all.
Oh no, yeah, I like the original TV show, and I like the Addams Family movies that came out in like the 90s.
Yeah, those are the that's the way it should be. It should always just be those, and that's it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're running out of ideas, I guess, or they're like, oh, let's remake everything.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 6 is also Trick or Treat, which came out in 1986. Not to be confused with Trick or Treat, which is, kind of confusing, but totally different movies. But yeah, like everything you said, I agree with. Like, not a lot of gore, but it's still like, I don't know, it's still like the headphone scene that makes up for everything, I think. And I like Sammy Kerr. I like his character a lot. Like he's pretty much the main like draw of this movie for me. Like he's fucking badass, like.
And the funny, what he did before that?
What's that?
He was like a solid gold dancer or something.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, he's the part perfect. He's great.
Yeah, I'm curious if he's ever been in any bands or anything, man. Like he nails his performances.
I think they tried, if I remember right. I think they were trying to find people, from bands, and it just wasn't working out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they ended up just getting him, and I mean, he killed it. He did a great job.
He did. That'd be a great thing to dress up for Halloween as to go as him. You don't see that either. Like I've never seen anybody dress as Sammy Kerr.
Yeah, I don't know that many people would recognize what you're doing, but maybe
people would.
Yeah.
I also had a whole bunch of like cameos from like Ozzy and I think Gene Simmons, but it's like super brief cameos. Like I think they had that on the cover or something, like featuring blah 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 Ozzy Osbourne and stuff, and like they're very brief. You got to really look to catch them.
Yeah, and Ozzy was all ad-libbed on that.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's actually pretty good in that.
I thought what's his name was in here, but it's just those two. Damn, who the hell? I thought there's another like heavy metal dude in here, but I guess it was just those two. I'm looking on the IMDb as I'm speaking, but I don't even remember Gene Simmons for it. Was it like an anchorman or something like that, or?
He's a DJ, kind of like Howlin' Wolf kind of type guy.
That's right. Yeah. But this is like perfect film to watch during Halloween time, though, because it does take place on Halloween, even though you can't fucking tell because there's hardly no decorations, but it does.
I mean, when they go to the dance, there is, but like, yeah, the rest, like they're doing this chase through the city, and there's no decorations on any of the houses anywhere. And I'm like, is this a budget thing or is this like part of the plot? Like, I don't know what it is because I guess it's supposed to be like a hardcore Christian town or whatever. But it is kind of weird that none of the houses really have any decorations on it or anything.
I think their budget went to Gene Simmons and Ozzy. Everything else was afterthoughts. But yeah, that's my number 6.
My number 6 is The Wicker Man.
Nice. Original or the Nick Cage one?
Oh, the original.
Okay. All right, good one. All right, cool.
Oh, come on, you had to ask.
You never know. Just making sure.
No, the original is really terrifying in a way because, I mean, you're watching this confused guy who's on this island that, he has no idea what he's put himself in,
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes downhill for him as the story goes.
Yeah, it definitely goes downhill for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that I'm not 100% on this. This is just me but I'm pretty sure that Midsummer used the movie as, maybe grounds for reference a little bit. It does kind of more vibe a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm sure that was a big like reference for Midsummer.
Yeah.
I think you and I were talking about that.
I mean, it had to have been.
And that, like, remaking The Wicker Man was a horrible mistake. I don't know why they did that. That was another thing. But talking about remakes, like I love Nick Cage, almost everything he does, but it wasn't his fault he was in this movie. But oh god.
I think they remade it like several times, but I mean, they shouldn't have. They should have just kept it the way it was originally, left it alone.
Yeah, the original is fucking a masterpiece.
All right, so my number 6 is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Good choice.
And I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just a fun movie that makes me, even though it just makes me think of Halloween. I don't know why.
It's creepy clowns. I mean,
yeah, it's just maybe I've watched it a lot during Halloween. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good one to watch during Halloween. I can see that, even though I don't think it takes place on Halloween or anything like that. But just having those fucking scary ass looking alien clowns, I mean, turn you into cotton candy and sucking your blood. I mean, that's pretty Halloweeny to me.
Airy and it has candy, so.
And Dickie did the theme song, which is pretty awesome.
Who did the theme song?
The Dickies.
Oh, the Dickies. Okay.
I actually have never seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I know, I can't believe it.
Kind of crazy because I've had plenty of opportunities to see it. I've just never actually sat down and watched it.
Well, that's cool. Now you get to experience that for the first time. Like, it should be a fucking fun film.
I'm definitely going to watch it this Halloween.
All right. So now we're down to my number 5. And this one's going to be this is a classic and this one holds really close. Well, I hold this one really dear to me. This is Ernest Scared Stupid from 1991.
That's actually an honorable mention for me, for sure.
Holy shit.
Go ahead.
I mean, cut you off there.
No, not at all.
So tell me about it. Why is it on your list?
Well, Ernest Scared Stupid is a childhood favorite of mine, and it stayed with me through the years. I mean, the big thing for me is the fucking trolls, man. Evil looking trolls, you know?
They're so gross. Those are actual real puppets, too, so they're like right there with those people, and you can feel how creepy they are.
Yeah, it reminds me, too, of running around as a kid trick-or-treating and stuff, like all the weird shit that used to happen to us when we were kids. Like, I could totally see this scenario happening, you know?
But then it has, like, that comical, like, twist to it, so it's not really super scary.
No, but like I said, the troll design, man, that's a lot for a kid to take in. But, when you can kill them with milk, I mean, it made me feel a lot better because we had plenty of milk at the house. Throw some Miak at them. Yeah, this is just one of my favorites, and I love the special effects. I was always a fan of Ernest films. Like, I like Ernest Saves Christmas, like Ernest Goes to Jail, all those films. I don't know, I loved them, and I thought Jim Varney was a great actor, a character actor, and when he did play straight roles, he could play those well too. But he's always going to be known as Ernest to me. And yeah, this is just one of the best Halloween films ever. Like, and I think a lot of people agree with that one.
Yeah, those Ernest movies are fun though.
They are. As like we don't have films like that no more. You're never going to see another Ernest Scared Stupid type film ever. Like they're like it's just dead, unfortunately. Like you have to go back and experience this. Go rent it somewhere. You're not going to see a brand new version of something like this. And hopefully this never gets remade, which I seriously doubt that ever happen.
No, it won't.
The only thing that I've seen recently that comes close to that is that Adam Sandler movie that came out. Not Adam Sandler. What was it? Sorry.
There was that Adam Sandler Halloween movie.
That's right. It is Adam Sandler. It's like Doofy or something. It's called.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. It's like Hubby's Halloween, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, God, the movie was awful.
Yeah, and I wanted to like it. I was like, oh, cool, Adam Sandler is doing a Halloween movie. Cool, this could be fun. And it came out during October. I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch it. And I was like, oh, this is fucking boring.
It was so awful. I watched the whole thing just because I was like, it's Halloween themed, so I'm going to try this.
Yeah, I was like, how could this go wrong? Oh, that's how. Okay.
Yeah,
it had a ton of actors in it.
Yeah, I miss Adam Sandler from the fucking early 2000s, late 90s. That's Adam Sandler I like.
So what you got?
Oh, number 5 for me is Hocus Pocus.
Nice.
I feel like all chicks should watch that movie. And it was really close between that one and The Witches of Eastwick because I wanted to pick one witch movie. But Witches of Eastwick is also an honorable mention in my opinion.
Yeah, that's another really good one. That's a great Halloween movie.
Yeah.
And Hocus Pocus is actually on my list too, but further up. So,
really?
Yeah, I love Hocus Pocus. That's another childhood favorite that's stayed with me.
Oh, for sure, me too. Like I would still watch it as an adult too, but I don't watch it every Halloween. It's just I made him watch it one year.
Yeah, I liked it. It's cool. I didn't grow up with it, but it was, as an adult, I liked it. I thought it's cool.
Czar had been doing some of the special effects too, so.
Yeah, and it's also Mick Garris, who's the master of horror, who did this, which is fucking awesome,
Oh, yeah.
He did that movie?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. I think I talked to him a little bit about it on the episode that he did with me. Or at least I told him how much I like Hocus Pocus or some shit. I don't remember. It's kind of a blur because Mick Garris, a little nervous at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus is amazing. It has a specific feeling to it. It's hard to describe. It's creepy, but it feels like you're I don't know. It's really strange.
I'll tell you one thing. I had a crush on Sarah Jessica Parker as, her role as a witch on there for a long time as a kid.
All right. So my number 5 is The Guest.
Oh, hell yeah. You got me into this movie. Watch this when we're fucking recording at the Jam Room.
Yep. Yeah, so that's already one of my favorite movies, but
yeah.
I mean, I think it works great as a Halloween movie too. I love the Halloween vibe of it at the end. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm wishing I would have put this in my list actually. I forgot about the whole Halloween thing because there was a Halloween party in this movie.
Yep, and then I think there's what is it, a dance or something at the end?
Yeah, there's always a Halloween dance.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean,
where do these Halloween dances happen at?
I know.
I
never had any of those.
No.
No, we just had those crazy ass fucking haunted houses we've been talking about, but no,
the church
no fun dances.
No fucking dances. Not in my school.
No school's that cool, I don't think.
And as a side note to the Adam Wingard, he actually made an album that's pretty dark and cool. Bianca got it for me. Past Life Regression.
Ooh.
And I think that actually works pretty good as a soundtrack for Halloween. Some little mood music. So I'd throw that in there too. I'm a big fan of him. I like his work a lot.
Oh yeah, same here. Since you got me to The Guest, I was trying to find all his shit that he's done, and anything he does now, I'm all about it.
Yep.
I didn't know there's a soundtrack he did, where it's like an album. It's like an album they did that you're talking about.
Yeah, he just made an album, Past Life Regression.
Okay, I need to check that out. Hopefully, it's
Cool.
streaming like Spotify or something.
I'm sure it is.
It's real moody.
Yeah, it's real moody and dark.
I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, I think you'll dig it. Definitely check it out.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for the heads up on that. I had no idea. All right, so I guess we're going to my number 4, and this is going to be a lot of people's favorite Halloween film. Well, a lot of people are going to love it. A lot of people hate it, and that's 1982's Halloween 3: Season of the Witch.
That's my number 3.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, this is like the weirdest fucking movie. Oh, it's a Halloween movie. Like, especially growing up, like I can't wait to see Michael Myers, do his thing and stuff like that. And yeah, Michael Myers makes one cameo on a fucking video screen via like a commercial or something.
You know,
Yeah.
I was real lucky because I saw it as a kid on Halloween, and I'd never seen the original Halloween or the second one. So I
Mhm.
went completely fresh. And like as a kid, seeing Halloween 3 on Halloween, that is like the best Halloween movie ever. It freaked me out, like the thought of like what those masks could do and all that. And oh, there's just so much that's great about that movie. It's definitely like I'm on your team with it being a great movie.
Yeah, and you can watch. You don't have to follow none of the Halloween films to watch this movie. This is its own separate entity. It's like its own thing. And I think originally it was named something else, and then they ended up deciding to make it like throw it in the Halloween universe. I think this was supposed to be a start of a Halloween TV show, if I'm not mistaken, that John Carpenter wanted to do. It's going to kind of revolve around like different stories, but somehow it got mixed up and turned into Halloween 3. One of the in the film series. But yeah,
And
also with the mask stuff too. I love all the different masks they have in there because I love wearing masks during Halloween as a kid. So it's like, oh, that's kind of fucked up.
oh yeah, man, it was as a kid, it was really scary. Like it was a terrifying thought.
And that
It
fucking Shamrock song never gets out your head too, so it's kind
oh,
of terrifying.
and honestly, I love the ending of it too. I think that ending is so great for that movie.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And this also brought up another like fan theory about Michael Myers that he was one of the Shamrock cyborg like robots. Like there's a theory that he's one of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And if you want to tie that into something else, going back to the guest, that kind of feels like he could be like a cyborg Michael Myers type thing. Maybe he was built, from the Shamrock Corporation. You know what I mean? It gets really weird with these theories.
that would be cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome. But again, it's only a theory, so probably there's nothing canon about it, but still cool as fuck.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is a couple of things. The Creep Show 1 and 2 movies and Tales from the Dark Side. I feel like all of those kind of lump together just because they're anthologies.
Hmm.
But I mean, you can watch any of those and they're all really great. They're all different, but I mean, they feel like Halloween to me just because I feel like Halloween is kind of like when you watch movies during Halloween, I feel like anthologies work really well because you get little short horror movies and
Oh yeah, most definitely. And you said Tales from the Dark Side. There's a specific Halloween episode of that one that's still fucking terrifying. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. There's like the trick or treaters come up to the door and this guy's not giving them any candy, so they're gonna pull tricks on them, but they're like fucking. I think they're demons or something. He's either a witch or like a demon, like a real one. So
okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. Anthologies are great for I love anthologies, especially during Halloween time.
I really love the Creep Show 1 though. Creep Show 2. Creep Show 2 is incredible. Like it has some of the best little short, stories in it that I've ever seen in anything. Like The Raft is one of the best stories in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
So creepy and like just weird and always every time I see that short, I'm like, how did they do that? With the slime in the water. I just don't understand how they actually did that practical effect.
If I'm not mistaken, I saw a documentary on this. It was like a tarp, It was it was like a tarp they did, and they put some like some type of shit on top to make it look like it was slime on there. But
Okay.
it was really simplistic, and like once I found out how they did it, it was like, oh man, that's how they did it. It was like maybe it was trash bags for all I know, but something like a tarp of trash bags, and they added some stuff to it, and that was it. Super simple, but really effective.
But when you see it, you're just like, how did they do that? You know, it's like, because it's crazy. I don't know, like the slime coming through the planks of wood when they're on
Mhm.
the shelf.
And it's sucking your skin off and stuff. Oh man.
So awesome.
The short story is really good too. That it's almost shot for shot from the short story from Stephen King. So it's really you kind of know what's going to go on when you read the short story, but it's still effective as fuck. With like, there's no safe place on there because you got the cracks in the fucking in the raft there, and yeah, what are you supposed to do? You can't escape that. You're going to die, and you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, and then I think Stephen King also had a part in the Dark Tales from the Dark Side too, right?
I'm sure he probably did. A lot of freaking like awesome authors did stuff with that and writers, so probably.
Yeah, right. And I mean, every little story in each one of those anthologies are really good. I mean, there really isn't a bad one.
And how about the theme song for Tales from the Dark Side? Remember hearing that for the first time?
Which one was
Man,
that?
the theme song for Tales from the Dark Side.
Oh,
Like,
dude, yes, that shit haunts me till this day, man. I fucking love that shit. And it's in my head, embedded in there from watching it so much
yeah,
as a kid.
I remember. I can remember to this day where I was when I first heard that. You know, like I remember exactly, like just not even knowing what it was. Didn't even realize it was coming on TV. Just it just came on, and it was like, whoa, what is this? Just off of the music.
Gives you chills almost, man. And like how the picture is they show on there like fades to like that negative when it's like the dark side, and it changes shit. I'm like, oh my god, what is this? Is this a nightmare?
Yeah, so cool.
Oh yeah, that's way cool. Yeah,
So my number 4 is Return of the Living Dead. It,
nice.
it's probably my all-time favorite horror movie, and so I first saw it on Halloween, and even though it's not set on Halloween, everything about it just feels like Halloween. Punk rock, zombies.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like that's that weird like 80s.
Oh, it's so good. The soundtrack, 45 Grave, Cramps. I mean, I love this movie so much. I can't. I mean, I've probably watched it more than any other horror movie.
Naked Ladies.
Oh, and Quigley, can't
Yeah,
go wrong.
she makes everything better that she's in. So
Oh yeah.
She doesn't even have to be naked.
No, she's just great.
hmm that's a great choice. That's definitely got that Halloween feel to it. And even not on Halloween, like it's a great film to watch. It's fun as hell.
Yeah, I think I was like a middle school or something, and it came on Halloween, and I just remember just being like blown away by it. It was like I seriously felt like I was watching the greatest movie I'd ever seen. And today I feel that way every time I watch it.
It's awesome.
And it's so weird because Dan O'Bannon that directed it, he like wrote Alien, and it's such a different vibe.
Yeah, polar opposites.
Right.
But yeah, that's a fun one, and I love the special effects in it, man. All the fucking gooey shit and like all practical, of course, and yeah.
Tar Man, there's so much cool stuff about it.
Yeah, it's very iconic. And it still looks so cool too.
It does.
That'd be a fun one to watch on the big screen. They should do like a redoing of that one on the big screen. It's shown it like not in HD necessarily, but it's shown on the big screen itself. Would be really cool.
Oh, I would be so stoked.
Didn't one of the zombies say like into the police car maybe he's like bring more cops or something?
Yeah. Oh, there's so many good lines in that movie.
Man, yeah, that would make for some good like fucking some clips on like a really cool like synth song or like a cool metal song. Actually, I'm pretty sure people's probably taking some clips out of that one.
Oh, I mean, in the punk rock world, definitely.
Yeah, definitely punk stuff.
So many clips for that on punk records.
Yeah, it's a classic, man. That's a good choice.
Yeah, that movie's odd.
All right, my number 3, which we've already talked about, but I'll just go over it a little bit here again. Is 1993's Hocus Pocus.
We didn't mention this before, but that song in that movie will get stuck in your head so easily. The song,
Which one from Hocus Pocus?
Yes.
Yeah, yo, definitely, yeah. I think it was sung by Sarah Jessica Parker too when she's flying around trying to get the kids. I don't know if I said this was directed by Mick Garris. I'm totally wrong on that. It was written by Mick Garris. So
Okay.
if I said directed on there, I apologize for that one. I was like, that threw me off for a second. I was looking, I was like, wait a minute, this is written by Mick Garris. I should already know that, but it's what it is. So, but yeah, this is a classic, man. Like, love this one as a kid. I still love it now. It's fun. It's nothing scary about it, really. Unless you're really scared of witches, but.
It's kind of a sweet movie too. It's kind of sweet and still feels a little creepy and dark in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, Bette Midler's kind of terrifying. Like, she has like the whole teeth thing going on, like the super buck teeth, and like she kind of scary looking.
I think they're actually making another one though.
Yeah, they are, and it's going through. It might be almost completed now, maybe. They've been talking about this one for a few years, but Mick has nothing to do with this one. It's kind of like on its own thing now, so I guess we're going to see about that,
I mean, it could be good. We'll see. I mean, I have high hopes because this is one of the few movies that I'm actually okay with them doing another one,
Yeah.
Especially since they have all the original actors, but.
It'd be good for a newer generation too. Like, I think this one would translate well with a decent remake, as long as it's done right.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all knew this, but this was like one of Doug Jones's first movies. He played Billy Butcher.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Doug Jones under all the costume there.
And I was saying earlier, Chet Zard did the makeup for Doug Jones in that movie.
Somehow got him back involved.
It'd be sick if they got Chet Zard to do the makeup effects.
I would definitely be there for that.
Yeah, I'm down with the practical stuff and like maybe get let him do the makeup job. Just no CGI and stuff like that. As long as they don't like fuck it up too bad with CGI or just that kind of weirdness, I'm down to check it out. But
I'd rather them just omit any CGI altogether. Just
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm still not a fan, man. Like, I know CGI has advanced a bunch over time, but it still looks fake. Like, take a look at that new Jurassic Park. I've seen the trailers for it. Like, it doesn't look good to me,
No, it doesn't.
No.
And how the original had CGI when it first came out, but there's a lot of like practical stuff in there too. And the way they combined it with the first Jurassic Park was like fucking magic, So very odd.
I agree with you. I don't think CGI really has gotten to a point where I want to see it in movies.
No, I don't think it's there yet. I think it will be one day, and I mean, use sparingly. Like, if you use it the right way, you won't even know it's in the movie. Like, there's a lot of shit I didn't know that was CGI, like when it's used like backdrops or stuff like that. But when it comes to like creatures, like werewolves or something like that, I can always tell that, I'm looking at a, computer generated image there.
I think the Dark Crystal TV show did a really good job with that, but I guess there's not going to be another one of those, right?
No. With the Dark Crystal, they actually did a whole like behind the scenes documentary about how they incorporated CGI with practical effects, and they did it so subtly that you barely noticed that it was actually CGI.
Yeah, that's a good use of that. Yeah, because that shit looked really good. Me and my wife watched that and we liked it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a really good kids show. Like it
looked incredible.
It felt kind of fucked up, honestly. Like there were some moments where I was like, "This is a kids show? What the fuck?"
Well, the movie was like that,
Yeah, exactly. And it still had the same spirit too. Anyway, going on a Dark Crystal tangent.
So yeah, what's your?
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Young Frankenstein.
Cool.
Even though it's kind of a horror movie, but it's more of a comedy.
Yeah, it totally works though. It's kind
of definitely.
That's one of my favorite movies of all. It's my top 10 favorite movies of all time. But it's solid. I really love Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I would definitely throw that in there. It's a fun ass film. That's kind of a classic too. Like, I think everybody needs to at least watch that film at least one time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hell, more than once. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's a humor we don't have anymore. Like that's like the Ernest P. Worrell stuff, that's just not going to exist anymore. It's like in a time capsule on its own. Like it's not. There's no new like fucking Young Frankenstein coming out anytime soon. And, that kind of humor is just gone.
I liked where I heard that originally Mel Brooks had planned to do all of the Universal monsters, so he ended up doing Young Frankenstein, and then they did Dracula Dead and Loving It, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But he never got to do all of the other ones. Like he intended to, but he just, I guess, maybe scratched that idea. Scrapped it, I mean. But I don't know.
That would have been cool. I would definitely be down to check those out if he did those.
I would have loved that. I would have loved to see like Wolfman comically, or the Mummy comically would have been great. I know that like Abbott and Costello did like Frankenstein and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's just a little different.
Yeah.
So mine, we already discussed, was Halloween 3.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that was your number 2 or number 3?
Number 3.
Number 3, yeah. Yeah, and like I said, you can't go wrong with that one. That's...
Didn't you say though that originally the Halloween movies were supposed to be like a different type of story every Halloween?
Yeah, that's what he was saying about the TV show.
Oh, okay.
For some reason in my mind, I thought it was, supposed to be movies, but you're probably right. It was probably TV shows, and they just decided to make it a movie.
Yeah.
I know it was. I've heard about all that went down on that, and it was a huge mistake. I mean, I think everybody agrees on that, and it's a shame because it's actually a decent movie. It's too bad that it got so much hate because it wasn't Michael Myers.
Yeah, I want to see more in that universe, like from the Shamrock universe, more cyborgs. Like I want to see more of that.
Yeah, that would have been so awesome. Instead of getting a bunch of shitty Michael Myers movies, we got a bunch of different cool like movies based around Halloween. That would have been sick.
Yeah, there's some pretty shitty Michael Myers movies, unfortunately. Especially after that. Like, yeah, there's some good ones too. Like I like Halloween H2O a lot. A lot of people don't really care for that one. Wait, is H2O the one when he goes into class? I mean, into school, right?
Oh man,
is that the school one? Not the one with Busta Rhymes now. That one I fucking hate.
That's the one I was thinking of.
No, not the Busta Rhymes one. That one's horrible. I'm talking about the one where he's after Jamie Lee Curtis at like this school, like they're at like a school weekend or something. Like that one's really fucking cool.
Yeah, 4 is actually pretty good too. It's real vibey.
Is 4 the one where he gets broken out of jail at the end by that weird guy in the hat? I don't remember which one that was.
Remember about Halloween 4 is that intro. It's real like long and vibey, and I remember there were some good kills in it. I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, that is one of the saving graces for all the Halloween films are the fucking intros and the scores. John Carpenter stuff. Like, yeah, can't go wrong with that.
I really like the intro to the first new one where like the pumpkin was like all decaying. That was
pretty cool. That's sick.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Definitely. All right, so down to number 2, and this might be on one of y'all's lists. Maybe it might be your number 1. Might not be on your list at all. I think it's the epitome of Halloween movies or whatever. But it's Trick or Treat from 2007, the horror anthology.
Not to be confused with Trick or Treat.
No, definitely not. Not even close.
Yeah, I figured this one had to be on your list. I was like, there's no way this isn't on your list.
I really like this movie. I actually just saw this maybe a year ago or 2.
Yeah, I think I got you to watch it one year.
I liked it. I wish I had seen it sooner, honestly.
It's so good. Like, and you were talking about earlier about horror anthologies, how those like kind of the best things to watch, during Halloween times. And I agree. And this is a anthology, even though it's all wrapped up, together, but it's still an anthology. And I love it, especially the werewolf, the werewolf like segment they have there where they're all out in the woods partying and stuff. And these girls all fucking turn these badass werewolves and just kill these dudes. It's awesome.
I like the feeling of that movie because it felt like you were safe in it, and then it felt also like you were completely unsafe. It was really strange. Yeah,
I definitely didn't feel safe watching this when I first saw it. I was like, man, this this feels dangerous. I like that. I like movies that feel dangerous. I want to feel something when I'm watching something. And this
Right.
one definitely made me feel a little uncomfortable. Like, oh man, in a good way, of course, but it's great. I even have like a special edition graphic novel they did of this. I ordered a couple years ago now. I don't even touch because I don't want to fuck it up or nothing. But they did a graphic novel of this, and it's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one. It's weird when I first saw it early on, I wasn't a big fan of it. I just kind of was like, eh. And then like I started seeing that it was becoming like a cult movie, and everybody was really into it. I'm like, huh, what did I miss? Like how did I only feel okay about this and other people love it so much? And I don't know what it was because I rewatched it. I was like, oh yeah, this movie's great. Why did I not like this? But for some reason, at first, I was just not super into it.
Well, at least it grown on you and stuff, and now you like it, so that's cool.
Yeah. Luckily, like enough people liked it that that movie's actually had a pretty long life.
Yeah, I think it's become almost like a cult classic now, even though it came out 2007. I think there's like a cult following for it.
Definitely.
I know there's been people wanting like a fucking sequel or something, and I've heard rumors that there could be another movie one day, but that was a long time ago when I heard those rumors, so I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah.
But he also wrote another film that I didn't like at first. When I first saw this movie, I didn't like it, but it was Krampus. But the more I watch Krampus, like I watch Krampus around Christmas time every year, I'm like, oh, this movie's fucking great.
You haven't seen it yet, have you?
I haven't. You actually got it for me.
I watched it and I thought it was really fucked up.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially for like a Christmas time movie. Is great, and it has like a almost a National Lampoon type feel to it at first, and then it goes real dark.
Really quickly, like.
The thing that threw me off on Krampus, what made me not like it at first, because I didn't quite know what I was looking at here, but Krampus himself, he has like this face with his mouth like wide open and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's fucking stupid. But I found out that he's wearing a mask, so there's something else underneath that mask. And once I found that out, everything was good. I'm like, oh, that's really genius.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so Krampus, you definitely watch it during like Christmas time. No, I think it'd be better,
Oh yeah, it's really creepy.
All right, so down to what y'all's number one now, ain't it?
No, number 2.
Number 2.
My number 2 is Pet Sematary.
Oh, cool.
I mean, honestly, a really solid movie regardless of Halloween, but it does have a cemetery and, bringing animals back from the dead. Just feels very Halloween to me.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Bringing people back from the dead. I mean, it's just a really fucked up movie.
That one holds like a soft spot for me. And that was another one growing up watching Pet Sematary. I think with my grandma and my aunt. One of them two got me into this film when I was little. And that one sticks with you. Such a crazy ass story. It's sad. Especially when Gabe gets hit by that fucking truck.
Well, Stephen King said in the interview. I mean, he said this many times, but he thought of like what was the scariest or most like terrifying thing to him, and he thought of that, his son walking out into the road and getting hit by a 18-wheeler, and he was like, that is so terrifying to me. So he wrote essentially Pet Sematary around that idea.
Right. Are you a fan of the second one as well?
Oh no, not really. I mean, we saw it in the theater, but
well, there's a sequel too, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the sequel now, not the remake, but the
no,
sequel.
I've never seen the sequel. I was thinking of the remake.
Man, the sequel's cool. It's got Clancy Brown's like the main like bad guy in this one, and man, yeah, dude, definitely want to see the sequel. Just for Clancy Brown's performance, I think he's brutal.
All right, yeah, I'll check it out. I've just avoided it because usually sequels aren't very good. So I just don't even bother watching. If I like a movie a lot, I won't watch a sequel to it.
Yeah, this one, the sequel's really, really good, and it also shows Zelda in there, like the sister. And I don't want to give away too much because the second one's badass. Definitely check that out. Watching both back to back, I think that'd be for a really cool experience.
Oh yeah. What's your number 2?
So my number 2 is could have just been my number 1. This is my new favorite standard that I watch every Halloween. I put it on, in the afternoon and just let it roll. The WNUF Halloween special.
Oh hell yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
That just it's got the vibes. It has that 80s, growing up in the 80s Halloween vibe, having the TV on, during Halloween.
Phil
Hmm.
loves it so much that he has a cassette just the audio from the movie.
Well, that's different. No, it hasn't. Grayface put out an album that it has one of the characters doing a radio show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like supposedly clips from
That's cool.
his show.
It's badass.
Yeah, like that. Grayface put that out, and I think they put out a limited edition of the movie and that as well. But yeah, speaking of that, Grayface too. Like Grayface knows how to do Halloween. I look forward every year to see what Grayface is either going to put out or what they're going to do. They like one year they put out that magazine
Hmm.
with the
Oh yeah,
mixtape.
it came with
and,
a tape, and it came with I forget what else it came with.
I think it had
Honestly,
some fangs and some Halloween candy.
yeah.
But anyway, Grayface knows how to do Halloween. But yeah, that movie, back to the movie, it's just those commercials are so dead on to that time, and just like the little news clips and just everything about it. It's just like they just nailed the vibe, 80s Halloween vibe.
All the fake commercials.
Oh yeah, it's so good. I mean, the movie itself it gets a little boring. The commercials get old, but commercials did get old back in the day.
Yep.
You did get sick of it, like, oh no, not this commercial again. And so the movie does that to you as well. Makes you keep watching the same ones over and over.
It's kind of a comedy a little bit.
Yeah, it's great. I love it so much.
Yeah, that one would be totally in my honorable mentions, man. That yeah, you like say you just put that on in the background and let it play on, and like
Yeah,
you get that feeling, like the atmosphere. They nail that shit.
The
yeah.
music and the sound effects definitely feel very Halloween.
Oh yeah.
And it makes me think back, man. Like all the years of trick or treating as a kid, like fucking got your antennas up there on your TV and shit. Like fuck, feel old. Oh
You get
man.
like a knob on your TV to turn it.
Yep, we had knobs and pliers. Like one of our knobs was broke off. I guess the volume one was there, but the channel changer was a fucking pair of pliers my dad had on there.
Oh my god, that's so
Yeah.
funny. I forgot all about that, and just you saying that reminded me of us doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We had pliers to like turn the TV.
Man, these kids will know. And also with the like antennas, we had fucking aluminum foil on there because supposedly aluminum foil gives you better reception, which is a bunch of shit, I think. But we had that thing stacked with like aluminum foil wrapped around the top of the antennas. Oh man, I miss
Crazy.
that stuff. I know it might be just be nostalgia, and I really don't miss it. But just thinking back and like, man, that was so cool.
Yeah, aesthetically it was cool.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't cool probably living in that time. I don't think I enjoyed that much trying to flip the antennas around and get good reception and watch any fucking thing with 3 or 4 channels.
Yeah.
All right, my number one is going to be, a lot of people's number one, and saw this one coming from Miles, but it's the original 1978 Halloween. Like I always leave this film the day of, or actually I watch it on Halloween Eve, pretty much, and I leave this one for last in all my rotations of like Halloween movies. But Halloween, the first one, the original, is like still the best. It's one of the best slashers ever made, and it's one of the best films ever made, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna do it, and everyone will hate me for saying this. I think it's boring.
Oh,
I know, dude. I know you don't want to hear that.
that's all right. No, that's your opinion.
Everybody thinks I'm an asshole for saying it, but I do. I think it's kind of boring. I like it. It's vibey. It's cool. But every time I try to go back and watch it, I'm just like, man, this movie's kind of boring.
I think the thing that saves this movie for me that makes it so like appealing and stuff is the fucking soundtrack, is John Carpenter's soundtrack to it, like
Oh, it's
it's
cool.
just so like fucking like brooding, man. Like, there's something around the corner and like I don't know, the soundtrack saves it for me.
Didn't it actually literally save the movie? Wasn't it like it almost didn't get picked up and then he did the soundtrack for it and then it did or something like
Or
that?
something like that, yeah. I
Yeah, I
remember.
think I've heard that.
I mean, I think, yeah, I think I agree with y'all. Like the soundtrack definitely makes it a solid movie. But it is a little slow paced, obviously, because it's he's stalking her.
Yeah, I mean
So,
it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad movie by any means, and I understand that it's like a classic. I wouldn't argue that.
But with the way things are now, with everything being so fast paced, it's hard to watch a movie that's that slow.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I could totally see that. And that's why I save it for once a year. It's not like a film I could watch like every other month or whatever. Like once a year though, it hits just right during, Halloween for me.
Yeah.
So
If it came on, I'm not turning it off. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I love when they do like the Halloween marathons. Even though I've seen every one of them like thousands of times, I still fucking, I want to watch this. It's on AMC. They're doing a marathon, even though they have commercials on there. Like, they're doing a marathon. I'm gonna watch them back to back until they get to the Busta Rhymes one, and those guys there. And yeah, I can't. I went to the theater to see that when I was a teenager and stuff, and I was like, oh, a new Halloween movie. Hell yeah, I'm going to this. And at the time, I was like, oh, this is cool. Then watching it again, not being a teenager, I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks. I was just happy to see Michael Myers in a movie theater. I thought that was fucking cool, I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. Michael Myers on the big screen. But, man, looking back on that one, it did not age well. So bad. But, yeah, Halloween is my number one. Like, yeah, and there's some other ones I could have thrown up there, but I'm going with, the one that hits me the most during Halloween time. So
I mean, it really is vibey. I totally see where you're coming from with it.
Yeah, and like I said, the soundtrack really saves it, and yeah, but it's not high impact, high action. So if younger folks who are listening to this have never seen the original Halloween, which some people may haven't, they might have checked it out before, but don't expect a lot of action there.
I mean, it's a great movie to get into the vibe of Halloween, where it can put you in that Halloween mood for sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Well, my number one we already talked about, which is Pumpkinhead.
Nice.
I fucking love Pumpkinhead so much.
Talking about vibes, that movie has it.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just creepy. I mean, my dad made me watch it. He made me watch it. Okay, to be clear, he made me watch it when I was like, I think 5 or 6, and terrified the shit out of me. And
yeah, I bet.
And then, of course, over time, I became a huge horror fan because of my dad. So I will always forever love that movie.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that was also one I was exposed to as a young kid from either my grandmom or my aunt, because they're the ones that got me into horror, like super young, like 4 or 5, as far back as I can remember shit. You can remember so far back, but I remember watching like Pumpkinhead, Nightmare on Elm Street, and fucking Hellraiser. Like I'm sure that's helped mold me into what I am today, like good or bad, but it's I feel so much appreciation for being exposed to that at a young age from family, so it's fucking cool.
I saw Pumpkinhead in the theater.
Oh, you lucky.
Yeah, well, sorta, because like leaving the theater, it was just like, man, that was dismal, like it kind of was like. It was awesome, but it was just like also like dark. I remember being like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, super bleak. Like, there's no like high points in this. It's all the whole subject matter is super bleak. It's about loss and this and that. Like there's no happy nothing to this film.
Oh. All right. So my number one, is definitely cliche. I'm going to be the first to admit, but I do watch one at least every Halloween, and that's the Universal Monsters movies.
Nice.
At least one on, and they always kind of get me in the mood for Halloween.
What's your favorite one, if you had to pick one?
Oh, Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And Frankenstein, both of those. I think this year I'm gonna watch Invisible Man, because I haven't watched that in a long time. Last year.
And pretty creepy for its time,
I watched the Mummy last year, and that one's kind of boring. It takes a while to get going, but it's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I just just been watching these movies since I was a kid, so it's nostalgia.
Yeah, and they're fun to play like in the background or something, or just want to chill out, do a marathon on them or something.
I mean. They're a little bit slow by today's standards for sure. I'm ragging Halloween for being boring, but honestly, like Dracula's pretty boring. Like.
Yeah.
What's your Universal monster?
What's that?
What's your favorite Universal monster?
Going with the werewolf. Yeah,
Good.
the Wolfman.
Oh yeah.
I like the Black Lagoon, but I think a lot of women like that movie for some reason. It seems like it's synonymous with women.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually a solid movie. Even now, it kind of holds up. The Creature of the Black Lagoon is still kind of creepy, and I like the way he looks. He looks cool.
Yeah, one of the coolest looking monsters for sure.
And it was the last one they did too, but what's interesting about it is, or I think is terrifying, is they were swimming underwater in those suits. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It was terrifying to me. Like having that suit surrounding your whole body and you're underwater.
Yeah, I'm good. That's why I never do any kind of deep sea diving or anything. I'm claustrophobic, and I don't want to be entrapped in anything like suit wise or none of that shit. I'm good.
I feel you on that.
That's like those facial plasters they put on people for masks and all stuff for doing special effects. I couldn't imagine like sitting down in a chair getting all that shit put on my face where you can't breathe, or I had to stick those little holes in your nostrils there with like tubes and shit. I couldn't do that.
Oh no, that's it's a lot, and it seems suffocating.
Yeah, I'm good. I've been in one horror movie my whole life, and they did the special effects where my eye blew out, and they had to put this like microwaved piece of like supposed to look like my like a gaping hole where my eye's at or whatever, and they threw it in the microwave and stuck it on my face, so it was fucking super hot, dude. And I got to wear it there for like at least an hour while they shot the scene or whatever. And
Whoa.
I wasn't even good with that. I'm like, this is weird. I don't want shit on me. I'm good. I don't think I'm made out to be in horror movies. And that film is called Team Science. And I think you can
Wow.
find it on YouTube. We did this shit like back in 2000, I don't know, 2010 or something. It was a long time ago. It was like before I had a beard and anything like that, long hair. It's like, so it was a long time ago. So if y'all can find that one, check it out. I'm in there for like maybe a couple seconds where my head explodes.
Yeah, definitely have to do that.
If you were going to be in a movie, at least you got your head exploding. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I got to like spray out fucking fake blood, which was mixed with chocolate syrup, so it didn't taste too bad, because I had to do like multiple takes from, I guess, then to get it right. But interesting experience, man. We spent 8 hours, or shit, it was like a 10-hour day up in Virginia doing this, running through the woods in these pink suits we had to wear, and they're made out of the same shit, like they're made out of burlap. So you know how burlap feels, right? Super hot. It doesn't breathe and it's itchy.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're wearing those. We're supposed to be like these scientists because it's a horror comedy, and we're running through the woods in Virginia. It was fucking hot as hell. It was a brutal fucking day, and I didn't get on the credits on the Internet Movie Database like I thought I was. I'm like, oh, I'll be on the credits on there. I'm not on the fucking credits. Like, damn it.
That just sounds like laziness right there.
Yeah. I don't even know. It was supposed to got picked up by Trauma, but I don't know how that went, if it actually did get picked up by Trauma or not. So I don't know. I never followed around with it. I never got a DVD or nothing of it. So.
Well, if you find it, let us know. We will watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll actually look for it today on YouTube, see if it's still making its way around there. That's where most people have seen it at. I'm like, oh, I haven't even watched the damn thing yet. I know I'm in it, and I really don't care about seeing it.
I was an extra once on a David Gordon Green movie, like one of his early movies. Did the new Halloweens, but one of his early movies, Undertow.
Nice.
And that was a crazy experience because they didn't really tell me what was going on, because I'm just an extra, so they just put me in my spot or whatever. And then like I just hear this screaming, and these people come run up, and this dude gets his throat slit.
Oh man.
Whoa, what the hell? It was so scary. It scared the shit out of me because I had no idea what was about to happen. And they were good actors. So it was pretty realistic.
Damn. Was it a long day of shooting and stuff too? Like, was it pretty brutal and grueling or?
Here's the crazy thing. Yeah, it lasted for me. I got brought back for days, but then I don't even think I'm in the movie at all. I think what I was told by the casting director is that the actress that was in that movie, they weren't super happy with her performance, so they cut a lot of her scenes out. And I think a lot of the scenes that she was in. But yeah, I was on set for days. It ended up being a crazy experience. I ended up meeting that actor Michael Pitt, then the director Gus Van Sant, and like went and had dinner with them, and like got to hear all these crazy stories from Gus Van Sant. And It was awesome.
Damn, that's cool as fuck, man. It sounds like a better experience than what I had instead of sweating in a burlap sack.
No, it was hot and yeah, it was a lot of sitting,
It
but
seems like it's boring, like being on set.
it was super boring.
I did speaking of David Gordon Green or whatever, I did send in a I sent a headshot in some like how tall I was and all this shit to try to play like a stand-in for Michael Myers when they're shooting down here. I never heard nothing back. Yeah, I did try though because they were looking for like actors or they didn't say for what or whatever. They wanted a specific type of person like height wise. I'm like, oh, I fit that bill. Is this for Michael Myers? I wonder. I'm gonna send this shit in. You never know. So we're the same height. I think Michael Myers is like 6'2". I'm 6'2". I'm like, I could do this. I just want to stand there for like 10 seconds. That's it.
I think you would be a good fill-in. I think that would have been a good choice. I
appreciate that. I would have shit my pants if I got a message back saying, hey, come on down here. Just 10 seconds. I'm good.
Oh, man.
Do you have any honorable mentions, Brandon?
Well, it would be like The Guest would be one of my honorable mentions. If I would have thought about it a little bit harder, I probably would put The Guest on my list because I fucking love that movie. Besides that, not really. Like, nothing really hits me. Like, Tales from the Dark Side would be an honorable mention because that one episode specifically I was talking about, the Halloween episode with the trick-or-treaters and the witch and stuff, that would definitely be up there. And
I feel like the original Suspiria is kind of Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's got 5 for days.
Yeah, definitely. Did y'all like the remake of Suspiria?
Yeah, I liked it.
I did like it.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending. The ending was kind of ridiculous, but
yeah,
it seemed like it switched mood entirely at the end, and it just didn't fit the rest of the movie. It felt really disjointed almost.
It went kind of Rob Zombie at the end. It kind of reminded me of Lords of Salem at the end a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. I have some honorable mentions. I got Terrifier. It's like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it every Halloween. You know what I mean? Like maybe every few or something. It's kind of brutal.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely love that movie. And then even though it's not going to TV shows like The Munsters, that's just got some vibe to it and it's fun.
Yeah, that feels like Halloween, even though, you can watch it any time of the year, but it definitely has that feel.
Right. Bianca, honorable mentions?
Let's see. I don't really know if this qualifies, but I kind of slightly feel like The Silence of the Lambs feels a little bit like Halloween, but it's not really, honestly. It's more of a mystery, but I feel like it's so dark and fucked up that it still kind of slightly fits.
I would throw it on there. I mean, I consider it a horror movie. A lot of people consider it a thriller, which I think it's like / thriller / horror,
I feel like it's more horror just because it's, about a serial killer. Yeah, I mean, it's about a serial killer trying to help find another serial killer.
Yeah, I think it counts for sure.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's not on my list because it's, not really Halloween.
But we've probably seen a bunch of Hannibal Lecters for Halloween over the years.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a popular costume.
Yeah.
None of us mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street, but I mean, Freddy Krueger obviously feels like a Halloween.
Oh yeah. Maybe we're just all burnt out from seeing Freddy Kruegers every year.
Yeah. we see sexy Freddy Krueger.
Oh my god.
Every year.
Oh god, yeah, that's a new thing now.
We went to Savannah when we first met, and in Savannah when Halloween happens, it's fucking insane. It's like people flood the streets.
Yeah,
thousands of people come into Savannah to go to celebrate Halloween.
Well,
and I saw like half the women were for sexy Freddy Krueger. It was so insane.
It's pretty funny. I never really thought about it until you mentioned it, but you were totally right.
Such a hell of a combination there. Like, I never saw that one coming. Freddy's great for Halloween. Shit, Freddy still haunts my dreams now. I still have dreams about Freddy. Like, I guess he does live on, you know what I mean, in your dreams, because I swear, like, every so often I have another Freddy dream like I had when I was a kid. It's fucking weird.
Something interesting about that was when I was a kid, Well, it was coming to the theater. They had radio spots for it, and they had the creepiest radio spots I'd ever heard for a movie. Like, I wish I could. I bet it's on YouTube or something. I'd like to look that back up. I'm in their radio spot, just being a kid and hearing it on the advertisement for it coming to the theater was so creepy and cool.
Yeah, back then, man, they used to like go all out for movies. Have a special edition this, or they got all these crazy posters everywhere. Like you said, there's commercials and stuff. We don't really get that anymore.
That was great building up hype.
Yeah, and I love that. It made it feel more special once you saw it. Even if the movie disappointed you, at least the hype was kind of cool for it. It built like an atmosphere for it.
Yeah, I mean, it must have had some sort of effect because my parents wouldn't let me go see that one. They were usually pretty cool about most of them, but I didn't get to go see that one.
The street I grew up on is called Elm Street, so I definitely felt a kind of like a kinship with that movie in a dark way. I don't know.
Nice.
Because of those two.
Totally.
A lot of streets are called Elm Street, but when you're a kid and you see that movie and you're like, oh shit, I live on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Like, am I gonna get fucking Freddy Krueger gonna come after me?
I had a weird thing happen to me when I was a kid trick-or-treating, another trick-or-treating story, but this guy was dressed up as Freddy, one of the neighborhood dudes or whatever were trick-or-treating at, and he wanted to go grab me and stuff, and I'm pretty sure I hit him. I had to be like 10 or 12 or whatever, so I'm a little teeny kid, but I remember it fucking freaked the fuck out of me, dude. I mean, he was a good Freddy too, and he had the whole he had a mask on, but he had a good mask and he had the glove and all that shit on. I was like, God damn, it's almost terrifying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But now when I dream about Freddy, like, he's cool. I never have like, oh, Freddy's chasing type dreams. He's always nice and like making jokes. So I'm like, I guess that's good.
He's really homoerotic too.
Well, I mean,
yeah, definitely.
the whole thing about the second.
Yeah, of course. There's no mystery of that anymore.
No.
There's a whole documentary on that too. I think it's called Scream Queen, I believe.
That's actually a great documentary. It's really good.
Yeah. Like the shit that went on during that filming. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That was a long documentary too, from what I remember, right?
Yeah.
It was like super long.
Yeah, it's not as long as the Jason documentary though. My Name is Jason. I think it's like 8 hours.
Or the actual Nightmare on Elm Street. I forget what that documentary is called.
Yeah. That was on Shudder for a while. It might still be up there, but that was the longest fuck one too.
Yeah, the one I'm thinking of is the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that one's super long. It's awesome though.
I have one more honorable mention. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice straight up feels like a Halloween movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do. I watch Beetlejuice at least 3 times a year.
Yeah, I watch it regularly. I'll just throw it on while I'm doing other stuff.
It's the best.
The Jinx in Savannah, when it was still open, every Halloween they do a new theme and decorate the whole bar to look like a theme. Like, they went all out. And I think my favorite one was the Beetlejuice theme. And they left a lot of that stuff in there. That was another cool thing about the Jinx, is they would like leave some of the Halloween stuff every year that they did. So it just got cooler and cooler every year, Oh,
that's badass, especially Beetlejuice theme, man.
Oh, it was so cool. Yeah.
They're supposed to be redoing Beetlejuice too, or doing a sequel of that. I don't know how true that is. I hear so many fucking rumors, like halftime is never real, but
they don't need to do that.
I really hope not.
No.
That would be awful.
Don't mess up my childhood.
Not that movie.
No, that's a fucking 10 out of 10 classic.
Yeah. Still
holds up more than anything today. I fucking love Beetlejuice. That and Beetlejuice and Little Monsters, if y'all have ever seen that one before with Howie Mandel.
Little Monsters. I haven't thought about that in a minute.
God, that's a good one. Y'all should watch that again if you haven't seen it in a while. Like, it's still good. And it's got some adult shit in there that you didn't really see back when you were a kid. You were kind of blinded to it, but now looking back, it's like, oh man, that's kind of creepy. What's that?
I actually don't know that movie.
Fred Savage. Right?
Fred Savage?
Yeah, Fred Savage, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fred Savage and Howie Mandel, who plays Maurice, the monster, the main monster from under the bed.
Neither one of those people are making me want to watch this.
Oh, trust me, do it. It's really, really good. I'm telling you, it's good. Yeah, because then they go and like visit the underworld and stuff, like the world of where all the monsters live at. I guess maybe it's another dimension. It's underneath. You can get access to it from under your bed. Like if you got a bed, you got a pull out couch bed, you can get it from there. Anywhere underneath the bed, you can go down to that world.
Okay.
But if you stay down there too long, you start to turn into a monster.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's fucking good. Trust me. It's like one of my favorites. That and Beetlejuice, I can watch forever.
I love monsters, so I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
See-
I text y'all too, like where it's streaming at, because I'm not sure. I think it's streaming on it was on Amazon, and I think it might still be on Netflix. So,
Oh, I'm sure we could find it. Well, Brandon, my phone's about to die, dude.
well, man, I'm glad it didn't die during our talk there. So
Yeah,
that's good.
on it. I'm like, okay, we're right there. So
Excellent. Well, this has been fun, and I appreciate y'all talking Halloween movies with me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Hopefully we can do it again next year about something. Make this an annual tradition.
Some of these movies that are on our list aren't just Halloween movies. They're some of our favorite movies.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's a great list, and I hope people listening to find some cool movies to check out from our diverse list of like awesome horror movies. So,
Yeah.
alrighty. Well, I hope you'll have a good rest of your afternoon and stuff. And again, thanks for talking with me, and we'll do this again. Make it an annual thing for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Oh yeah, y'all take it easy.
Take care.
Later.
Later.